The first time I met Diego Reyes, I was inspecting stress fractures on the Golden Gate Bridge's south tower, and he was hanging from a cable 200 feet above the bay, painting like the world wasn't trying to kill him. I spotted him through the fog, suspended in a bosun's chair, international orange paint on his hands and face, moving his brush with the kind of focus that made me forget for a second that we were both hundreds of feet in the air and a 5.4 earthquake had just hit the bay 30 minutes ago. "Hey!" I called out, my voice carrying across the steel. "Bridge is closed for structural assessment. You need to evacuate." He didn't even look up. Just kept painting, smooth, even strokes, like I hadn't spoken. I climbed closer, navigating the maintenance walkway with my inspection equipment. "Did you hear me? We just had seismic activity. Protocol requires, I heard you." His voice was deeper than I expected. Accent slight, but there. Mexican-American, probably local. "I'm finishing this section." "You're what?" I was close enough now to see him properly. Mid-20s, lean and muscular in paint-stained work clothes, dark hair under a hard hat, face focused on his work. There could be structural damage. Cable integrity might be compromised. The cable's fine." He finally looked at me and I saw his eyes, dark brown, sharp with intelligence. "I've been painting this bridge for 3 years. I know when something's wrong with her. She's solid. You're not a structural engineer, I am. And I'm telling you I'm not leaving until this section is done." He gestured with his brush at a patch of fresh paint. "See that? That's not just cosmetics. That's corrosion protection. Every day I don't paint, the bridge deteriorates. So unless you're going to climb out here and physically drag me off this cable, don't tempt me." He smiled, quick and sharp. "You wouldn't, you're too by the book. I can tell. You probably filed your evacuation report before you even came looking for stragglers." He wasn't wrong, and that annoyed me more than it should have. "What's your name?" "Diego Reyes, Local 377 Ironworkers. You?" "Nathan Cross, Bridge Authority Structural Engineer." I checked my tablet, scanning for his work order. "You're not even supposed to be on this section today. This is South Tower. Your assignment says North Tower maintenance, I know. But I finished early and Bobby called in sick, so I'm covering." He went back to painting. "Someone's got to protect this bridge. Might as well be me." But here's what I didn't know then. Diego Reyes wasn't being reckless. He was being precise. Every stroke of his brush was calculated. Every section he painted served a purpose larger than his own safety. He loved that bridge the way I loved structural equations, completely, obsessively, with a dedication that made normal people think he was crazy. And I was about to spend the next 6 hours learning exactly what that looked like. The second earthquake hit 20 minutes later, 5.8, strong enough to make the bridge sway, to send my heart into my throat, to make Diego finally stop painting. "Okay," he said, voice calm despite the cable moving under him. That one I felt. No shit, I was already on my radio. "Cross to command, we felt that. I've got a painter still on South Tower cables. Requesting immediate, static." Then nothing. The radio was dead. "Let me guess," Diego said. "Communications down." "Yeah," I tried my phone, no signal. Not unusual this high up, but combined with everything else. "We need to get down, now." Agreed. He started packing his equipment with the same methodical precision he'd used painting. "There's an access ladder 30 feet west. The third earthquake hit. 6.1, the bridge didn't just sway, it moved. Really moved." I grabbed the nearest support cable, felt the whole structure shift under me, watched Diego's bosun's chair swing wild. When it stopped, Diego was hanging at an angle, his safety line tangled in the cable system, too far from any support to climb back up. "Diego!" I started moving toward him. "You okay?" "Define okay." His voice was strained. "I'm not falling, but I'm also not going anywhere." The lines fouled in the cable housing. I reached the cable junction, assessed the situation. He was suspended about 15 feet below the main walkway, chair twisted, no way to climb up without risking the line tangling worse. "I can get you," I said, already calculating the approach. "I've got rescue equipment. Give me 5 minutes to—" "Nathan!" He looked up at me and I saw fear under the calm. "I don't think we have 5 minutes. If another quake hits while I'm hanging like this..." He was right. The chair was stable now, but another strong tremor could snap the fouled line. I needed a different approach. "Okay." I clipped my safety harness to the main cable, started descending. New plan. I'm coming to you. We'll work the tangle from your position. You don't have to. Yes, I do. It's my bridge. I met his eyes. And apparently you're not the only one who's obsessive about her. His smile was small but genuine. Apparently not. It took 30 minutes of careful work, untangling lines, redistributing weight, both of us moving with the kind of precision that comes from knowing one mistake means a 200-foot fall into the bay. When I finally got him secured and we started climbing back to the walkway together, we were both shaking from adrenaline. You didn't have to do that, Diego said once we were on solid steel. Risk yourself for some ironworker you just met. You weren't just some ironworker. I was checking his harness, his gear, making sure everything was still intact. You were someone stuck on my bridge. That makes you my responsibility. Your bridge? He raised an eyebrow. Pretty sure the bridge authority might have something to say about that. They hired me to keep her safe. That includes the people on her. I looked up, met his eyes. Including stubborn painters who won't evacuate during earthquakes. I evacuated eventually, after the third one. I'm a slow learner. He was smiling now, tired but real. Nathan, thank you. Seriously, you could have just waited for professional rescue. I am professional rescue. Structural engineer, remember? Rescue and recovery is part of my certification. I started guiding us toward the South Tower access. Come on! We need to get inside, assess damage, wait for communications to come back up. We made it to the tower's interior maintenance level, a steel and concrete space designed for exactly this kind of emergency. Power was out, emergency lights barely working, but it was shelter and it was stable. How long do you think we're stuck here? Diego asked, shrugging out of his harness. Hours, maybe longer. They'll need to run full structural assessments before they clear the bridge for personnel. I was already setting up my tablet to run diagnostics on the bridge sensors, and with communications down, they don't even know we're here yet. So we wait. We wait. For the first hour, we focused on practical things, checking supplies, confirming the tower structure was sound, trying various methods to get communication working. For the second hour, we started talking. Why bridge painting? I asked, watching him clean International Orange off his hands with methodical care. Why bridge engineering? He countered. I asked first. Fair. He settled against the wall, paint rag in hand. My abuelo was an ironworker. Helped build half the high-rises in the city. He used to bring me to job sites when I was a kid, let me watch the crews work. I saw guys hanging hundreds of feet up, building things that would last centuries. Thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So you became a painter? Became an ironworker. Painting's just one part. I do steelwork, rigging, high-altitude construction, but the bridge, he gestured around us. She's special. She's not just a structure. She's an icon. Protecting her, keeping her beautiful, that matters. The passion in his voice made my chest tight. I get that. More than you know? Yeah? He looked at me curiously. Why engineering? Because I love solving puzzles. Because structures fascinate me. The way loads transfer, the way stress distributes, the 1,000 small decisions that make something like this. I touched the steel wall. Stand for 90 years and counting. I could work on any bridge in the world, but I wanted this one. Because she's not just engineering. She's art. We're talking about the same thing, Diego said quietly. Just from different angles. Yeah, I met his eyes. We are. The third hour, the conversation shifted. Can I ask you something personal? Diego said. Sure. Are you seeing anyone? My heart rate kicked up. No, you? No, He paused, choosing words. I'm not great at relationships. The work is irregular. Heights freak most people out. I spend my life on bridges and skyscrapers. Hard to date someone who can't handle what I do. I get that. I shifted closer. Just slightly. I work weird hours. I'm obsessive about structural integrity. My last boyfriend said I cared more about the bridge than him. Did you? Sometimes, yeah. I met his eyes. But maybe I just hadn't met someone who understood why it matters. Someone who also cares about the bridge. Someone who also cares about something bigger than themselves. I was very aware of how close we were sitting, how his shoulder almost touched mine. Diego, I should tell you, I'm not good at this. The relationship thing. I get too focused on work. I miss dates because there's a structural issue. I'm the same as me, he finished. Yeah, I'm getting that. Is that a problem? Not even a little bit. His hand found mine on the floor between us. Nathan, I've been trying to figure something out for the last 3 hours. What's that? Whether you're as attractive as you seem or if it's just the saved my life thing. I laughed, surprised and genuine. Have you figured it out? Both. He leaned closer. Definitely both. And I'm trying to decide if kissing you while we're trapped in a bridge tower during an earthquake aftershock situation is a terrible idea or the best idea. Probably terrible, I said, closing the distance between us. Let's do it anyway. I kissed him there in that maintenance level, steel walls around us and the bridge humming with stress beneath us and fog rolling in outside. His lips were paint-stained and perfect, his hand coming up to my jaw. Everything about him careful and sure. When we broke apart, we were both grinning like idiots. That was, Diego started. Yeah, we should, definitely. We kissed again. Deeper this time, his hands in my hair and mine on his waist, tasting paint and salt air in something that was just him. When my radio suddenly crackled to life. Cross, do you copy? This is bridge command. We broke apart reluctantly. Copy, I said into the radio, not taking my eyes off Diego. I'm on South Tower maintenance level with 1 civilian. We're secure. What's the status? Structural assessment complete. Bridge is stable. You're cleared to exit when ready. We'll have a team at South Tower entrance. Copy that. Heading down now. I clipped the radio. Looked at Diego. Guess we're not trapped anymore. Guess not. He stood, offered me his hand. Does the offer for that kiss still stand when we're not in crisis mode? Only one way to find out. I took his hand, let him pull me up. You free for dinner this week? For you? Yeah, I'm free. We made it down to find the bridge authority in controlled chaos. Assessment teams, media crews, the whole apparatus of emergency response. My supervisor debriefed me while Diego checked in with his union rep. But our eyes kept meeting across the command center, and when he mouthed, "Call me?" I nodded. He texted me his number before he even left the site. Diego, the painter who wouldn't evacuate. My response, Nathan. The engineer who climbed a cable in an earthquake. That was incredibly stupid, he sent back. You're welcome, I replied. Dinner Friday? I know a place in the mission. Perfect. Try to stay off high cables until then? No promises. Same for you? No promises. Friday came with typical San Francisco weather. Fog rolling in, temperature dropping, the city wrapped in gray. The restaurant was small, warm, the kind of place that felt like a secret. Diego was already there wearing dark jeans and a gray Henley. No paint on his hands for once. You clean up nice, I said. Sliding into the booth, so do you. His eyes traced over my button-down and jeans. No hard hat. Almost didn't recognize you. We ordered too much food and talked for 3 hours. About San Francisco, his childhood in the mission, my East Coast upbringing before I moved here for the job. About the bridge and what she meant to us. About being queer in construction versus engineering, the different challenges and the same isolation. My crew's mostly cool, Diego said, but there's still guys who make comments. Who question whether I can do the work because I'm, he gestured vaguely, gay and Mexican, and not some white dude from a construction family. He took a drink. But I'm the best high-altitude painter they've got. So they deal. That's not dealing. That's tolerating. You deserve better. I deserve to do work I love. He met my eyes. And I do. So the rest, I handle it. You shouldn't have to. Neither should you. I'm guessing the engineering world isn't much better. Better in some ways. Worse in others. More subtle discrimination. Lots of assumptions about who belongs in structural engineering. I shrugged. But like you said, I love the work. So I handle it. His hand found mine across the table. We're good at handling things, you and me. Yeah. I threaded my fingers through his. We are. After dinner, we walked through the mission, through streets Diego had grown up on, past murals and taquerias and the kind of neighborhood life that makes San Francisco feel like home. When we reached my car, he pulled me close. I had a really good time tonight, he said. Me too. I wrapped my arms around his waist. When can I see you again? I'm on the bridge tomorrow. North Tower work. But Sunday? I might get called in if there are aftershock concerns. Then Monday. Or Tuesday. Or whenever. He kissed me, soft and sure. We'll figure it out. Engineers and painters are both good at problem solving, right? Right, I kissed him back. Diego? Yeah? I'm really glad you wouldn't evacuate. He laughed against my mouth. I'm really glad you climbed that cable to untangle me. Someone had to keep you safe. Pretty sure we kept each other safe. He rested his forehead against mine. That's how this works, right? Partners watch each other's backs? Is that what we are? Partners? I'd like to be. If you're interested. I'm very interested. 6 months later, bridge work doesn't stop for relationships. Neither does structural engineering. But we made it work. His painting schedule and my inspection rotations, somehow syncing up enough that we built something real. Diego started timing his North Tower work, with my South Tower inspection so we could meet in the middle, share coffee at the highest point of the span, watch the fog roll in together. I started learning about corrosion protection and paint chemistry, understanding his work the way he'd learned about load calculations and stress analysis. We met each other's worlds, his ironworker crew who grilled me about my intentions, my engineering team who were mostly just relieved I'd found someone who understood the hours. His family embraced me at Sunday dinners. My family video called to meet the guy who paints the bridge. One morning, 6 months after the earthquakes, we stood together on the South Tower walkway watching sunrise burn off the fog. You know what's funny? Diego said, leaning against the rail. What? I've been painting this bridge for 3 years. You've been engineering her for 2, but we never met until an earthquake forced us into the same space. Maybe that's what it took. A crisis to make us see each other? Or maybe... He turned to face me, paint stains already on his hands from the morning's work. Maybe we were always going to find each other. The bridge was just waiting for the right moment to introduce us. That's very poetic for an ironworker. I contain multitudes. He kissed me, tasting like coffee and salt air. I love you, you know that? I love you too. I held him close, international orange paint transferring from his hands to my jacket, and neither of us caring. Even when you won't evacuate during earthquakes. Especially then. He pulled back to look at me. Nathan, thank you. For what? For climbing that cable. For understanding why the work matters. For... He gestured at us, at the bridge, at everything. For this. All of it. You're welcome. Thank you for being stubborn and obsessive and caring about this bridge as much as I do. That's what made you fall for me? That's exactly what made me fall for you. 6 months after meeting during an earthquake, standing on the Golden Gate Bridge with a painter who understood obsession and dedication and the specific kind of love you can have for a structure made of steel and cable and international orange paint, I realized something. Sometimes the right person is the one who refuses to evacuate, who climbs cables in fog, who sees the same beauty in steel that you do. That's not a bad story. That's not bad at all.